Untitled Tarot. My name is Ariel. I hope you are doing great tonight. Tonight is Sunday, March the 6th. So I hope you all are doing well. We are in Pisces season. We've had some major planetary shifts over this weekend. Today in particular, very, very strong changes. So I'm here to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to be doing just a small collective reading for everyone because the big change that happened today is Venus and Mars. So, that really gets into our divine feminine, our divine masculine energies, our love energies. So we'll be doing a collective reading for that. And then after that, if there are people queued up in the chat, I will be taking live personal questions with a $15 minimum donation. I have raised my price on my donations for my personal readings because they are a bit long. I do give you a very good in-depth reading, and so I have adjusted accordingly. So I hope you guys are well. Let's go ahead and jump in, guys. I'm just going to look at the astrology for the day. It is a lot going on here, so I really felt it was a good thing to come in here and talk a little bit about this because I'm sure I'm not the only one that has been feeling it. I'm sure everybody has been noticing this. And really since February, we have been moving through this for that whole month where we have Venus, Mars, and Pluto all in this conjunction, and that is very, very intense. Mars and Venus just today have moved out of the sign of Capricorn. That is a really, really big deal because Venus was in the sign of Capricorn, including a retrograde for the last 4 months, y'all. 4 months is a long time for Venus to be in a sign because she is absolutely not a planet that sticks around for long in a sign. She's usually only in a sign, for about a month, 3 weeks to 4 weeks. And so for her to stay in a sign for 4 months is a very long time. Definitely brought a lot of things up to the surface in relationships, whether they have what it takes to last to the long haul. Definitely about, personal boundaries, personal space, potential money matters, all those things coming up to the surface when it comes to love. And I think that, obviously those energies and those lessons, those takeaways from that are, ongoing. It's not like it just shifts out of the sign and, oh, we're all done. No, they have reverberations after it, absolutely. So now that Venus has moved into the sign of Aquarius, it definitely shifts the energy up. Aquarius is a little lighter. It's not as heavy and deep and, serious as Capricorn, but it is still a similar energy because Capricorn and Aquarius are traditionally both ruled by Saturn. So it's still a little bit of that vibe. I would say of all the signs, Capricorn and Aquarius, the ones that sit side by side, they have the most in common because they do have that common historical planetary ruler. And I would also say that they both tend to be loners. They tend to enjoy time to themselves. They don't really need people around them constantly. They're not built that way. They like people around them. They don't mind being, having somebody that they enjoy, but they don't suffer loneliness in the same way that most people do. Having it conjunct Mars, obviously, this really brings this together. And I would say that our personal relationships of all kinds are very highlighted. They're very focused upon. Pluto right here, however, is what brings the intensity. This is what brings a warlike state, to the world. Because, when we get Mars, the traditional god of war, sitting next to Pluto, which is very intense, it does rule those destructive energies and cycles. Whenever those two are in aspect, I always say, we can end up in wars, conflicts. It's important for us to be careful of not injuring ourselves. We have to really look before we leap because there is this impulsiveness from Mars and the potential for destruction, coming from Pluto. It is also the potential for healing. So, if you're focused more that way, the healing potential is very great as well. But many times those destructive cycles have to play out first. And so this is an intense cycle. In all of our personal relationships, it is not easy. It is not simple. These are complex, very deeply psychological patterns, issues, subjects that come to the surface. We are very much in Pisces season. Check it out. Sun in the sign of Pisces, sitting right next to Jupiter in Pisces, sitting right next to Neptune, the planetary ruler, also in Pisces. Look at that. 3 of those guys traveling together right now. Oh my goodness. So we're absolutely in that world of spirituality, music, dreams, the imagination, escapism, all of those things. Addictions, yes, that's a Pisces element as well. Very spiritual life. So all of that's coming together as well. You know, so a lot of us do feel very confused. We feel a little bit cloudy, a little bit foggy and fuzzy. The best way to deal with this is to rest, relax. Don't stress yourself. Don't push yourself too hard. I do feel like people's minds are very, very serious at this time, especially this week ahead with not Neptune, sorry, Mercury sitting right next to the very serious sign of Saturn. People are thinking long term. They're thinking about their responsibilities, accountability, what they need to get done. All of that kind of thing is coming together right there. Right now, today, the moon is in Taurus, and Taurus is a very earthy, rooted, stable sign. It actually works quite nicely along with the Pisces energy because it does bring some stability to things. But the moon is transiting across very erratic and unusual Uranus. So it is a definite, like, our moods are a little bit all over the place. Don't take yourself too seriously this weekend. Or the next couple days, I would say. The weekend's almost over, but yes, because the energies can be very erratic. Our mood swings can be very unusual and a little unpredictable here with this energy. So these are the things going on astrologically. We've had a big, big transit of Mars and Venus. It's huge. You know, coming out of one sign and going into the other. So let's go ahead and start I'm going to do a collective reading for everyone. If we have people coming in for personal readings, then I will take those after we do this. I will be pulling from the Goddess Power Oracle and the Gods and Titans Oracle. These are going to be representing our divine masculines and our divine feminines right here. Yes. All right. Let's start out. Let's do a little bit of tuning forks. Let's kind of clear the energy. It's very sleepy in here so far. There's only a few folks in the chat. So we'll see if it picks up. With Pisces season, it's a lot of people are very tired. I've been sleeping so much this weekend. It's felt really good though. I do feel much better rested than I have in a while. With Pisces energy, Pisces season, you really have to listen to yourself. You have to listen to your heart, your consciousness, and what's right for you. Don't let anybody tell you don't let anybody push or sway you. The potential for being coerced is very strong during Pisces season. Because Pisces is very malleable, very, very mutable, very flexible. It tends to let people walk on it. So if you feel like people are trying to kind of walk on you or tell you how to be or tell you how it is, swim the other way. You don't have to be mean, just swim the other way. I've learned how to do that more and more as I've gotten older, I tell you. I've got a lot of Pisces influence. It's sometimes very hard for me to walk away, but I've learned to do it when it's messing up my sense of peace and well-being. I hope you guys can do the same. All right, Spirit, collective reading for the collective. General love messages. We're going to see what's up. Oh yeah, let's get a little bit of the spray here too. Let's do that. All right, dear angels, ancestors, guardians, guides, all of our spiritual divine beings, ascended masters, anyone that helps us out. Let's see what we have got for the collective. For this shift of Venus and Mars into Aquarius, please, let's see what the theme is going to be coming through for friendships, relationships, romance, feminine, masculine, divine, dynamics. Let's see what we have, please. Thank you so much, as always, for your help and guidance. We're going to start out with one key word. What is going to typify this transit of Venus and Mars in Aquarius? Look at that. That's beautiful. We were just talking about the warlike energies that can come through with Mars and Pluto in conjunction. Look at that. Our keyword is peace. That's beautiful. That's really just, I cannot put it more perfectly there. That is our keyword. That's what this next phase is going to really push for. And look on the bottom with stillness. Peace and stillness. Yeah. It's time to calm it down. You know, if things have been really challenging, if there's been a lot of conflict, this is a time for quiet. This is a time for rest. It's a time for peaceful energy to come back into play. Wow. Let's pull one card from our Goddess Oracle. Let's see what the Divine Feminine is representing as. I would say in your dealings with anyone and anything, you know, let peace and stillness be what, you know, dominates, prevails, because, you know, if you're trying to push your ego or your agenda, your wants and needs onto somebody and they're resistant, it's like, dial it back. What is it? The essence of, you know, of relationships is agreements, not coercion or obedience, right? An agreement is sacred. Coercion is not, right? You know, that doesn't work. It never works. When you bully someone or you know, browbeat them, insult them, you know, try to beat them down, to, you know, that never works out. It's never going to bring them around to seeing things your way or to encouraging any kind of closeness. You know, if somebody has a point of view you don't like, it's best to just be with it. Be in the stillness. Let it sit. Because the more you push against it, the more resistance you face. Let's get into the Goddess cards, please. Dear Divine Feminines, let's see which one of you is coming out to represent the Divine Feminine energy and consciousness through this Venus and Mars cycle of Aquarius. Let's take the top and the bottom. We'll see what's there. Ooh. Ooh, we got some powerful girls here. Okay, Lilith is coming out. Independence, right? Thinking for yourself. Breaking out of the mold. It looks like the Divine Feminines are kind of saying, I'm not going to be what you expect me to be. I'm going to think for myself. I'm going to do what works for me. I'm not always going to fit into the role of the perfect wife, mother, whatever that is. I'm going to have my own life. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to sometimes be kind of rebellious, but, you know, I'm going to live on my own terms. I'm not going to just merely acquiesce. Woo! And look who we had on the bottom. This is going to blow your mind. Blows mine. Bridget, our creative spark. We just celebrated St. Bridget's Day last month. I've still got her cards sitting up there. We are still in that Bridget energy. She does rule the divine fire, the hearth, the home, the security, right, that brings. She rules the waters. So she's really a goddess, a saint as well of water and fire, right? She rules both the fire and the water. Both those very sacred, you know, emotional elements. But these two together, this is, to me, this is the Divine Feminine just saying, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to shine my light very brightly. I'm not going to be the little woman that gets pushed around. Oh no. It's like, I'll work with you. I'll keep you warm. I'll keep you safe. You know, I'll be those beautiful divine feminine things, but I'm also going to be my own person. I'm going to follow my dreams, my passions. Both of these are very, look at the red, look at the warm oranges in those colors. You know, they both have that warm, passionate fire nature as well. Let's get into next. Let's pull from the Gods and Titans deck. We're going to see what the Divine Masculine is coming through as. We're going to take the top and the bottom card. So, dear Divine Masculines, Let's see what we have representing the masculine consciousness, how they're going to represent themselves through this Venus-Mars cycle of Aquarius. Look at that. Oh, ha, ha, ha. This is exciting stuff, guys. All right, we have Shiva, one of my favorites. Shiva to me has very Scorpio energy, right? They say destroyer on this. He's a destroyer and a creator. Very, very Scorpio, very Pluto kind of energy with Shiva. This is representing, like we talked about this, how prominent that is right now with the Mars-Pluto conjunction. This is coming through as that creator destroyer. Some cycles, some things are getting destroyed, literally burned to the ground. This is a lot of spiritual, psychological changes, growth, development. Some old ways of thinking and being are dying, right? They're being destroyed. I would say that this really does represent the massive shifts and changes that are coming for the masculine, for the divine masculine consciousness. You know, where a lot of those very old negative, like they talk about toxic masculinity, a lot of those paradigms are being changed so that something new can be recreated. And on the bottom we had Garuda, the god of travel, movement, going forward, right? So to me, it's like we're gonna have some big destructive and regenerative cycles for the divine masculine, and then things are gonna start to move forward, right? Very focused on going to a next better level, taking those next steps to become stronger, better, more positive, more of a true leadership energy, not born out of negative ego or toxic energies, but one that's born out of self-assuredness, right? Not out of arrogance, but, you know, of healthy, balanced self-worth. These are just kind of amazing. These are just amazing cards to me. That are coming out for the divine masculine and feminine for this Mars-Venus cycle ahead. So let's get next into a general reading out of the tarot. I'm going to be using 2 tarot decks as I always do. One to do the initial read and one to clarify. So let's get into next the Angel Wisdom Tarot. We're going to look at a collective. Where is the Mars-Venus conjunction of Aquarius that has just started today? Where is that going to be taking us through its transit? How will this impact our relationships and our personal lives, and also our relationships with ourselves? Oh yeah. A lot of planning here, guys. A lot of practical work that has to get done. That's for sure. So right at the center, we've got our Knight of Pentacles. That is about that practical energy, forward movement, getting things ready, though, right? It has to be planned out. There has to be practical you know, work put in before things get moving. The Knight of Pentacles moves the slowest of the knights. A lot of people call him the Turtle Knight because he is very slow and steady, wins the race. But this is Virgo energy on this card. It's Capricorn, it's Taurus, it's earthy, right? So he does take his time. He is not willing to be pushed. And I would say that that's kind of the overall energy of this feeling, is that it's like things will be moving, but you can't push each other. You can't bully or coerce. This has to be, you know, something that both people respect and understand each other's motives. This is a loyal, dedicated energy, right? This is saying, I'm here for you. Just give me a minute, right? I'll be there. It's, you know, about planning carefully before taking your action and then get going, right? Pay attention to the details and be patient for the right timing. Because this isn't something that all comes together overnight. It does take time. It does take practical effort. And it may relate, you know, to relationships as well. You may say, oh, gosh, I've been waiting forever. I've been single forever. When is the right person going to come? Or you might be in a relationship and you're like, we've been together forever. When are we going to take it to the next level? It's things like that. But it does take time with this card. However, it is the most successful night, so I wouldn't say it's anything negative. Yeah, you have to really listen to the intuitive. Yet again, peace and stillness, those are our big key words here, and it really all comes about by being patient, by seeking your own counsel, working on yourself more than worrying about what your partner or what the other person is doing. In the immediate past, look, there's been a lot of conflicts here, guys, with this Five of Wands. There's been a lot of fights. There's been a lot of angry words or heated arguments exchanged. This usually is because people have different opinions. You know, they hit heads and this happens, right? And I think there's been a lot of situations where, you know, one or both partners have had to kind of walk away from drama, from conflicts to cool down. And it's sort of like, unless the situation is really worth it to you, don't go fighting. Don't go scrapping for fights. But yeah, things have been heated. Things have been tense recently here. Oh yeah, and a lot of ugly stuff has come up to the surface for a lot of folks with a Devil card here. A lot of stuff. It's, you know, and I think that whatever the conflicts have been have really unearthed some unsavory stuff because, you know, the devil. This is the freaking devil, right? It's habits, it's routines, and it's behaviors that we don't necessarily like a lot of the time, but we feel kind of chained to them. I almost get the feeling like there could be these fights that happen and then, you know, later whoever, you know, said mean things or whoever did something that they aren't proud of is kind of going, God, why did I do that? I've done that before. I don't like that about myself. I wish I hadn't done that. Like, I just get that feeling about it because the devil is usually those habits or routines that you wish you could let go of. Right, and kind of beating up on yourself. So there's definitely, I feel like the conflicts have really revealed a lot of shadow side about people, about things that they really need to work on and really need to shift, you know. And the devil, you know, for whatever it is Capricorn energy, and that's where Venus and Mars and Pluto have been stationed for quite a long time now, right? So this is really getting into that. It's those habits. But, you know, with Capricorn energy, if you work on that, if you work on it, and you really dedicate yourself to doing better and being better, you can change that devil into an angel. You really can. It's the way it works. Going into the immediate future, we do have the Three of Cups. So to me, things are looking bright for the future, you know, as this plays out. But you got to be patient. You have to be gentle. You have to use peace. You have to use diplomacy to get here. But the Three of Cups is happiness. It's good news. It's celebrations, people coming together. Better times with friends too. Like, this is a really great card of friendship. You know, so it's important to cultivate your friendships, build those up, because those are who you really lean on in tough times as well as good times. And the Six of Wands, guys, things are going to be okay. I really get that feeling. In spite of how difficult circumstances have been lately, I do feel like this corner is getting turned here. We've come through some really harsh, challenging energies planetarily. And look at that. Six of Wands, victory, recognize success and achievement, good things coming, and a lot of celebrations, a lot of good times ahead with your friends. I feel like there's, you know, this is what we're leaving behind, which is a lot of difficulty, conflicts, hard stuff, and we're going towards some very positive things. But right now, at the center of this is just be patient, do your work one day at a time, plan your next moves, plan your next actions, be very practical about it, because it's fine to move slowly. Slow progress is still progress, says the Capricorn here. I will tell you, Capricorns are fine with slow progress as long as it's progressing. And that's really the energy here that we need to kind of be in for now. Just want to say hi to a few of my folks in the chat. Hey there, Ian, Izzy, David, and Dandelion. Good to see you guys. So on the bottom, what are we focused on? What's in our subconscious is the Two of Pentacles. Not surprising, because like I said, I do feel like we're really working hard to balance these energies. This is a Capricorn energy card. And again, you know, Venus and Mars coming out of Capricorn. That's really where it's been. And yeah, Capricorns have been getting hit hard, but I would say also all our cardinal signs, Libra, Aries, Cancer, they've been feeling this too. But on a universal level, we're all dealing with this. So I feel like inside of ourselves, we're really kind of struggling to balance. We're struggling to bring things into harmony, into alignment, in our relationships, into a better union where it's more balanced, where it's more friendly, more diplomatic, where compromise and working through things is favored. To me, this is also a card where it really says you're trying to enjoy your work more. A lot of people that are just burned out with their jobs are not happy where they are. They're trying very hard to make the best of either the job they're currently in or to somehow bring more fun into it. A lot of people as well stepping out into entrepreneurial positions, starting their own businesses, because for many people that's working out a lot better than trying to stick to the old model of going out and getting a job. But this is definitely needing a work-life balance. If you've been working too hard and just you feel burned out at both ends, this is time to relax as much as possible. In the clarifier, let's see what we have for the Two of Pentacles, please. You also might be very money conscious. Yeah, I mean, this is, whoo, talking about love stuff, guys. For a lot of folks, it's balancing this heartache. Oh my goodness. And not letting the heartache take over their lives, to be able to still be able to enjoy their life, get their work done, and have some fun. But a lot of folks are having a real struggle because there's been some heartaches. There's been some heavy-hearted energy, some breakups, some difficulties. Look what came after it. Ten of Swords. I feel like the cycle is at an end, but a lot of us are still processing it. Yeah. Yeah. Or it's going to be soon, right? For those of you that are still in process of dealing with emotional stuff, it's going to cycle around. On the top, we've got the Dreamer card. It's the same as the Fool card in the traditional deck. So message from Spirit, you know, higher mind consciousness is really, don't worry. Easier said than done. It's the leap of faith. It's letting things fall into place as they fall into place. It's really trusting in Spirit. It's really trusting in the divine plan. Putting our fears aside. Yeah. Not worrying, not letting those fears and worries overtake us about what's coming next. Instead, just taking it one day at a time, following the steps that you're guided to take. Let's get a clarifier, please. Ace of Swords. So there will be clarity, guys. It's just, this has been a tough time coming. It's been a long time coming, but I feel like the more you relax, the more that you don't worry about finding the answer, the more the answer will find you, because the aces are all about the hand of Spirit, the hand of the divine giving you a gift, and the Ace of Swords is a gift of victory, clear thinking, awareness, and knowing what to do. Yeah, not being confused anymore. Let's get into some advice. Let's see what comes up for our collective read. This is, again, is for the Mars-Venus shift that we have just experienced. This is regarding all of our relationship dynamics, male, female, divine, feminine, and masculine dynamics as well. So give us some advice, please, Spirit, on all of this. Yeah. Woo! A lot of earth energies, you know, so much earthy energy. And I think a lot of it is because, of course, we're dealing with Capricorn stuff. Suggested approach is the King of Pentacles. Yeah, it is really, again, this is Taurus energy, life, work, balance, really enjoying your life, but also being very dedicated to your work. I feel like a lot of people are very focused on their work right now, very focused on making money, saving money, paying off bills. This is one of my favorite kings, really, of the kings, you know, because this is a solid person. You know, this is a loyal person, someone that has the ability to create security, prosperity, and success. It's a good person to be in a relationship with, a good person to be working for or with. I'd also say that, you know, great advice on that, yes, is to stay stable, grounded, connected. Look at that with the Lovers clarifying. Yes. So this definitely is not just for our work life and our business life, but this is also relating to our relationships. The more that you work on becoming secure, stable, confident with yourself and happy with what you do, the more that this rubs off into your relationships, into the male female dynamics that exist in all relationships, no matter what configuration they are, right? So beautiful. It's Gemini energy on the lovers, so it has a lot to do with communication. When you're coming from a place of strength and confidence, you're not going to take things so personal. You're not going to be so swayed or upset if somebody doesn't, just walk lockstep with you, because, you'll be confident enough to let them have their path and their energy and their work, and you'll be confident to have yours as well. What you need to know, 10 of Wands, y'all. This is difficult, burdensome cycles coming to an end. I do feel like a lot of us are reaching the end of a difficult cycle or already have. This is really representative of putting those burdens down, because you're done. You're done. If you've been working too hard or too many hours, right? This is allowing other people to help you. It's a need for balance in life. Don't let health problems surface because of too much stress. And in relationship to our love life, friendship life, this is just saying if something is too burdensome or difficult, you have to put it down for a while, or maybe forever, just depending on who you are or what the situation is. But I don't think anything or anyone is really worth your peace of mind. It's just not. If somebody keeps messing with your peace, with your calm, you gotta walk away. I just feel like that's a very strong thing. It's hard to do. Hey Daisy, how are you doing, sweetheart? Good to see you. About to get a clarifier on this 10 of Wands. I'm just doing a collective reading right now. Yeah, 9 of Swords. Look at this. And I think that the big thing that we've got to put down is our worries, fears, and anxieties about the past, present, and future, right? Because this is those things in your head. Boy, they keep you up. You can't sleep. You can't relax. You're not doing well at work because you don't get enough sleep, and it rubs off. It's just all about it. We've got to put down those anxieties and fears. Nothing gets better when we're caught up in our head. Hopes and fears position for the collective, Queen of Pentacles. We got the King and the Queen. This is a powerful reading when the two come together, especially when we're doing a Venus-Mars reading here. So, the power couple is here. Capricorn Woman, absolutely my Capricorn Queen, her little goat self sitting there with her little bunny rabbit. The bunny is a symbol of prosperity, abundance, of plenty. And this to me is the ability to create that. And I feel like that's a big thing that a lot of us, that's why it's in the hopes and fears position. We're really hoping for an abundant future, to create that prosperity and what we need. But we're also concerned about, can we do it? Can we do it? This is important, right? Because I think that's what a lot of us are worried about, freaking out about. Yeah. I feel like with all this earth, yeah, and we're also, I think this is a fear of not being prepared for what's coming in the future, because the Knight of Swords is very rapid moving, it's air energy. It represents, those air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, which definitely have a little bit more to do with the future, or a lot of communication. And I feel like that's a big thing. We're like, gosh, am I going to be prepared if big changes happen, or if somebody comes in with a whole lot of wants, needs, desires, things they want to tell me, am I going to be able to handle it? So don't give in to the fears and doubts about this. I think you'll be fine. I think we will be. But this is really saying get grounded. Don't give in to those dark thoughts or, anxieties, worries about the future. It doesn't help. It really doesn't help. I feel like the outcome card is beautiful. Look at that with our Wheel of Fortune. I do feel like things are going to turn out well, because when I'm looking at the future cards, like the Three of Cups, the Six of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, this is things turning in your favor, coming out of stagnation. Jupiter is a big, powerful planet that rules that card. It is in the natural sign of Pisces, one of its natural signs. And so I feel like it does bring an extra degree of luck, but a lot of that luck comes through compassion, sensitivity, flexibility, all of those things. You know, you're going to get a lot further with sweetness and sensitivity and empathy than you will ever get with harshness, or just being difficult, right? It's the more you go with the flow, boy, the better it comes out. Because the big fear here, again, it's scarcity, it's lack, it's being left out in the cold, right? That's the big thing that people are dealing with right now, is just feeling lonesome, feeling isolated, feeling like, you know, my honey won't talk to me. We're not in connection. I feel cut off. I feel shut out. You know, and a lot of that is because of lack of empathy, a lack of compassion. You know, I've often, you know, I've heard that, you know, many times, you know, Five of Pentacles is like two soulmates, you know, out in the cold. And when one feels alone and cut off, the other one does too, right? It's not like, you know, one is not feeling it and the other is. They're both feeling it. It's just a matter of, yeah, getting clear with yourself, being more expansive, more magnanimous, more kind. That's really it. On the bottom, we've got our Sun card and our Page of Pentacles. Again, super, super positives. The Sun, to me, is the most positive card in the tarot, and so I feel like there are so many good things coming up. I do. And I feel like it's going to have a lot to do with learning new things, experiencing new things. A lot of us are going to be learning new things, or taking a class, going back to school, picking up a course, having a friend or some, you know, mentor teach us something new that has a lot to do with it. And I feel like, you know, with the Page of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune coming out kind of at the end of this reading, I do feel like there will be movement. Things might feel very stagnant right now. They might feel very stuck, but there is going to be movement. There is going to be travel. There's going to be, you know, a lot more growth, a lot more openness to those things as we go through this cycle of Venus and Mars in Aquarius. Let's get an affirmation for the collective, please. Yeah, look at this. Woo! It is about loss. Some things have been lost through these cycles we've been through. Absolutely. Sometimes you learn true offering through loss. You make a passionate invitation for love to take over and bring her own plan instead of the ego. Wow. Might have to read that again. That really makes sense, right? Sometimes you learn true offering through loss. You make a passionate invitation for love to take over and bring her own plan instead of the ego. And we talked about that at the beginning, that this is really, like, we see this. Our source of conflicts has been because of the ego, right? It's been because of the ego stuff. And I feel like the thing that we're dealing with, especially with the divine masculine, is that there's a lot of death of the ego, a lot of destruction of that old paradigm, and awakening to going somewhere better. It's beautiful, really. On the bottom of the deck was the awakening. So it's like there's the loss, and then there's the awakening. Oh my Lord, wake me from life as a spiritual sheep. May I hear you through my own instincts and common sense, right? We have so much earth in the in this reading. There's a lot of earth energy. We've got the Knight, the Two, the King, the Queen of Pentacles all here. So there's really this need for grounding. Really need for grounding. Embracing positive self-esteem and confidence and self-worth, not conceit or arrogance or ego or unhealthy pride. That is the big difference. I always talk about my dad. I have a picture of him sitting here because I love my dad. He passed away 4 years ago. There he is, very proud, very happy holding his fried chicken. This is a picture from 2006. And I will say about my dad that he was a guy that had healthy self-pride and worth, but he was not arrogant and he was not egotistical. And it's really, you know, that's the kind of male role model I grew up with. So yeah, I do personally have high standards for guys because my dad, he hit that balance pretty darn good, I will say. He was not egotistical, not arrogant, and he really didn't like people who were. He could not stand that. Anytime he'd meet a guy, he could always tell very quickly if they were coming from a place of arrogance or trying to be a big shot. He couldn't stand that stuff. He had that humility about him. Even though he was a really awesome guy, he wasn't puffed up like that. So yeah, that's a thing. But going back to those keywords, guys, are keywords for this cycle: peace and stillness. We gotta get into those. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. You know, I almost feel like saying, you know, as we travel along this, you know, month of March and into early April, it's kind of like, does it bring you peace? You know, whatever it is, whether it's work, a relationship, friendship, you know, project, whatever it is, does it bring you peace and stillness? Does it help you get in that good centered space? Because if it doesn't, you either gotta rework it or you gotta let it go. Everybody's showing up now. Hey there, Colin. Hey, Daisy. Hey, Ian. Lonely Stacker 777. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Climate Teacher John. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, y'all. So we have done with the collective reading. Mental note. I like that, JT5. That was, you know, that picture came from a trip that I had taken. I was living in Oregon at the time that I took that picture, and I was visiting Atlanta again, staying with my parents, and that, yeah, that's when we took that picture, because he had made his chicken and he was just all happy about it. That's just my dad, right? Straight up. That's him. That is just him. I can't even, like, he was just so happy when I mean, you know, like I said about healthy self-pride, he knew he made good fried chicken. So, like, he was just like, look what I did. Like, you know, it's just, it was both. He loved to cook, because he loved to eat, but he also loved everybody to have something good to eat too. Like, he really had that nurturing side of himself where he wanted everybody to be okay and taken care of. Oh, that's great, J25. Yeah. Yeah, I take pictures of my cooking too when I cook something good and it looks nice. It's like a work of art, and then you got to eat it. So then it's going to be gone, so you got to take a picture. Yeah. I think food is such a way to connect to with passed on loved ones. It really is. Or even not passed on loved ones. I know, like, when I was living in Oregon, if I wanted to feel like I was home or just have that sense, you know, I'd cook my dad's favorite stuff. The chicken, the collard greens, the black-eyed peas, cornbread, you know, all those things that he loves. You know, he loved all that stuff, all the southern food. So yeah, we would cook that stuff up, and it's funny because when we do that, it makes the house smell like he's here. He loved onions too. Onions on everything. Don't burn your food, Climate Teacher. Don't burn it. That's my mom's territory. Nobody can burn a dinner like my mom. She gets wanders off, and she's a good cook, but she doesn't stick with it half the time, and it burns. I'm glad I'm more like my dad that way. Like, when I'm cooking, I'm cooking. Oh, hi to Tortuga. Me and my little tortoise bun say hello. Because I have a tortoise bunny, my little Tortuga bunny, Arthur. He says hello too. They started hosting Thanksgiving. Yeah, uh-huh. Yep. Yep. Your dad's chili. Yeah. Oh. I'm telling you, the food connection. That's a big thing with like the traditional Day of the Dead is, you know, is the foods. Like that's a big part of that celebration is cooking the favorite foods of the ancestors. Yeah. Um it's a huge way to connect. It really is. I even told my dad that several times. I was like, you know, Dad, when you've passed on, I said, when I want to feel like you're here, I'm gonna cook all this food that you like. And I think that made him happy. He was just like, okay. You know, he was like, all right. Yeah. And I do. I feel like, you know, it's a big way of remembering, and when you do that stuff, I feel like they're there. They really are. I believe it. I believe they're there when we do those things. Yeah. It's a cool feeling. Interesting. It's tough. It's tough. I miss my dad every day. I miss him all the time. It's just tough. I would love to see him again. Oh my goodness. That'd just be the best thing in the world. That would. It's tough. It is. It's like a light bulb that's always on your whole life. And then one day it's off. And it's like, where'd that go? And they're still there, but it's different. Yeah. Probably so, Colin. I know I need to fix up some chicken. I've been feeling the urge to cook. Yeah. It's just, I think that's something we never completely get over, and we shouldn't. You know, I mean, it's just kind of like we shouldn't totally get over it. We should still live our life. We should still be as happy as we can because that's what they would want for us. But we never really stop missing them in that way. You know, that's just, I think that's impossible to do. You know, I think that's always, you know, when you love somebody, it's, you know, you're going to miss them. You're going to miss them. You know. So anybody out there, if there's anyone that wants a personal reading, I am open for those. They are a $15 minimum donation. And I do a darn good reading, so if I do say so myself. So if anybody wants to sign up, I am open right now. If not, I will wrap up the stream pretty soon, and I will be back another night or another day. But I really wanted to get this info out there. You know, the stuff that's happening planetarily, it's been big. It's been big stuff. And I know that people are feeling it. I know I've been feeling it. And it's just good to check in. Do a good planet check-in and see what's up. I'm just gonna sit here and drink my orange juice. Oh, Daisy. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that reading. Because that card came out, was a blessing on someone nearing their last breath. I remember that. Yeah. Oh. I hope you're doing okay. It's tough. It gets easier over time. That's all I can say is it does get easier over time, but it does take time. You know, it's been 4 years since my dad. He would have turned 80 this year. Yeah, and that's tough. That's tough to think about. It's like, it really is. It was so raw in the beginning. It was so raw in the beginning. Take care, Colin. Good to see you. Have a good night. Yeah, it was really hard. I mean, when my dad died, like my first, I don't know if I mean, I've cried a lot in my life because I've got a lot of Pisces in my chart. I can cry a blue streak, but I don't know if I've ever cried quite like that after my dad. And I just had this awful feeling. I'm going to start crying if I start talking about it, but it was like, I just wanted him back. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Daisy, your mom's birthday is the same as my dad? My dad was born on February 9th. That was the feeling, though, that I had. It was just this desperate, awful feeling like, I just want him back. Like, I want him back. I want to do it all over again. That's how I felt. I was like, I don't care if I have to be a stupid kid again. I just want to rewind time and have him back again. That was the feeling I had. It was rough. It was rough. I had some anti-anxiety medication that I was taking that week. I don't know if I'd gotten through that week without it. Yeah, Daisy, you and my dad and your mom both born on February 9th. That's wild. They're good people, aren't they? Them February 9th folks are good people. You and I, Daisy, we got a lot of synchronicities in our life. I swear to goodness. We probably came from the same soul family somewhere. I swear to goodness. We've got some dang synchronicities, girl. We both have a lot of Pisces in our charts, too. That's why we're so watery. It's like... it's like... I tell people it's if they ask me what my makeup is or my makeup secrets, and I'm like, waterproof mascara, because I cry all the time. With all my Pisces, I have to have waterproof makeup. And lots of Kleenex. Yeah. Oh my goodness. We are in Pisces season. My goodness. Daisy, what's your birthday? Has it already gone by? Yeah. Oh. Oh, that's tough, Daisy. See, I know that, like, wow, Estella Romo, her mom's birthday is February 9th too. This is wild. Well, we got a little gathering of February 9th family members in here. March 20th. So you're right at the end. You're like me. You're cuspy. No wonder we get along. I'm telling you, I'm a cuspy Capricorn. I'm right on the edge of Aquarius. Just like you. Oh my goodness. That's interesting. Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, David, part of it's just being a Capricorn. I hate to say it. We're melancholy little critters. We are. We're funny, like Capricorns. We're very, like, we're funny, and we have such a good sardonic, like, dark sense of humor, or the sense of the absurd. I would say Capricorns definitely have that sense, but we are a melancholy sign. We can really go through the dark valleys. So don't worry it too much. Capricorns are just, we get gloomy, we get grumpy, we get it, but we get out of it too. Like, we don't let our depression overtake us usually. We work with it. Yeah, I can totally I can dig that, David. I can totally dig that. Yeah, Stella, you are a cusp. You're right on the cusp of Scorpio and Sagittarius. I feel that too, David. It's like I feel a little bit rootless, but at the same time not. It's odd. It's like I'm not quite sure what's coming next. That's why I think, like, that reading we just did for the collective with the Fool card, the Dreamer, I really do feel like that. It's the best way to go, is to not worry too much about the future. Just try to stay focused on right now. Yeah, a lot of cusp people. We attract to each other because we understand that duality. Now, what I will say, yeah, I've been having that too, Dave. A little bit of heartburn, a little bit of tension in the chest and stomach at times. Yeah, because it's the stress. It's the stress. I don't like it either. I don't think we're supposed to like it. I don't like it either. Well, here's something that I do want to clear up real quick, astrologically, because there's a lot of astrologers out there. They drive me crazy with this business when they say that cusp signs are both, that you're both signs at once. No, you're not. You're not. You're one or you're the other. You do have to do a proper chart with an accurate birth time to really truly know, because, like, for me, Your sun sign is either in the sign or it's out of the sign. There's no like, it's hazy. Now, I will say cusp signs many times pick up the energies of the sign closest to them because the last decante of the sign or the first does make a big difference, right? So for me, being in that last decante of Capricorn right next to Aquarius, that does make me more Mercury ruled because that's the co-rulership of the last decan of Capricorn is Mercury. So it definitely makes me a more Aquarian, a more communicative type of Capricorn, but I am still a Capricorn. My sun is at the very, very last degree. The planets, they go, here we go, I'm going to show you. When it starts out in a sign like today, okay, so Venus and Mars both moved into Aquarius early this morning. So they're both at 0 degrees, right? 0 degrees. They go all the way through 29 degrees. They don't have quite 29, but here's 25. It'll go 0 to 29. Then it clicks over to the next sign. So we are not both. We can be very strongly influenced by the other sign closest to us, but we are not both of those signs at once. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. And I would also say that Pisces is the sign that takes its personality very directly from the rest of its chart, more than any other sign, because Pisces is the most influenceable sign. It's the most mutable. It's the most sensitive. So it really does. Like if you have a Pisces with a lot of fire, they're going to be a much more like get up and go kind of dynamic fish. If you get one that has a lot of earth in their chart, they're going to be more grounded, more stable. If you get more air, they're going to be more airy, more intellectual. And if they have a ton of water, they're going to be very moody, very emotional, very, you know. So that's kind of the way that works for Pisces. They really do take the rest of their identity very strongly from the rest of their chart. These girls I talk to, like, have like a boyfriend, they're married or something now, they want to check in and, like, leave me alone. Oh. David. Oh, God. Stay picky. Stay picky, that's all I can say. Stay picky. It's all right to be a picky goat. It's like, goat, I know you can eat all the trash and still keep going, but maybe hold out for a better dinner than just the garbage, okay? You know, we're such a survivor kind of sign. Like, we can survive on the trash for a long time, but we sure like it when we get the better food. We really do. But cusp signs do many times get along well because they understand what it's like to have the influence of a sign next to them very closely. Yeah. It's not unusual for cusp signs to end up being friends or partners or lovers. It's because they just have an understanding like, oh yeah, you get that thing too. Like, yeah, a little bit of that duality. I would say being a Capricorn Aquarius cusp duality, it's like there's a part of me that's very traditional, very practical, very solid, but then there's also the part of me that's very Aquarian, very free-spirited, independent, doesn't like being told what to do, you know, that rebellious kind of energy. So it's interesting. I don't use sidereal. I do use the tropical Placidus. I honestly couldn't speak much on sidereal because I haven't really used it. Yeah, all my stuff I run them by, as you can see right there, the tropical Placidus there. And the program that I use is called Kepler. It's not a free program. It's not like something you could pull up on Google, but I really like it because it's extremely accurate, and I like the way the charts look. I like the design a lot better than many of them because they give you all the degrees, you know, on each of the houses, so you know how big the houses are. You can run programs for transits, progressions, composites. So it's a really good program. I actually want to update it. I haven't updated it in many years, but I bought that through the help of my teacher, Lynn Hammond Gray. Yeah. Yep. But there is good, I mean, there's good stuff, guys. I've had some really good stuff happen this last few weeks. I got a message from, well, I got a phone call. It was really kind of out of nowhere, but I got a phone call from the CEO of Putumayo World Music Records, and they are a music label. They've been around since the early 90s, and for anybody that's old enough, you'll remember being in bookstores, those old things that we used to have. Or even Target or some of, it's just different stores when CDs were a thing. And they did compilations and collections of world music from all over the place. And they're reissuing, they're doing a Celtic compilation, and so they reached out to me wanting to use one of my tracks on one of their compilation CDs. It's one of my tracks from Winter Song, so I was really happy about that. Yeah, it's from this old CD of mine. And they actually reached out and said, we want to use one of your tracks for an upcoming compilation that we're doing, and I was really excited about that. So I'm going to be working with them, and hopefully in the future too, because that's a really great opportunity that opened up just very out of nowhere. Just, I wasn't expecting that at all. And they couldn't get a hold of me easily, so like, I felt pretty flattered. The CEO themselves tracked me down and was like, gotta find her. I was like, thanks. Thanks for not giving up on me. So they're gonna include one of my tracks on there. They're gonna pay me in advance for that, and then, whatever royalties, they might be small, but it's fine. Like, it gets your name out there a little bit. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, I was really excited about it. It really gave me a boost, because I've been wanting to get back into doing more music, and it's kind of cool when somebody pops up like that, because you're like, wow, you still care about this stuff that I did? Cool. Because this is an old CD. I did this in 2003. 2003? Yeah, 2003 I did this CD. And so it's still getting some traction. That's nice. That's really nice. I'm like, damn, you want this old song? Cool. It's beautiful. It fits perfectly into, like, they were like, it's like going to be called the Celtic Dreamland collection. I'm like, yeah, it fits in perfect. It's a heart piece. It's just like, it's very dreamy and ethereal, and it's perfect for something like that. So I'm excited. And I've also been working with, I need to do another music stream soon, J25. I haven't done one in a while. I haven't had time. I've just been busy and working and sleeping, trying to help my little bunny, because my little Petey, with his little, surgery he had, he takes some maintenance and care. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot going on, but I need to sit back down and play some piano for y'all. And the other thing I'm doing with music is I'm working with my one of my oldest friends, actually, my friend Ryan in Atlanta here. And we've known each other forever. We met through, shared interest in music. And, but he hasn't put together a CD of his own ever. And I was like, Ryan, I was like, I got 4. You need one at least. Let's start. We gotta get you one. And so it's a rock album. I like his stuff a lot. It's definitely got a little of that kind of 90s alternative rock sound. It's good. It's really good. And so I'm helping him produce it. So I'm excited about that too. And in the process of also doing that, I'm going to be working on kind of putting together my own recording studio equipment so that I can start recording my own stuff as well. and getting going again, because it's been a minute, guys. It's been a minute. I've been so focused on astrology, tarot, and my eBay store that I haven't done music like I used to. I used to perform all the time and write all the time, and I have not been in that energy for a minute. So this is really kind of like getting that call from Putumayo was like a kick in the ass. It was like, Ariel. I was like, okay, let's do this again. So I'm really happy about it. Yeah, I could do a music channel easily, J25, you know, to just do a dedicated one. I do have a second YouTube channel called Sassy Dragon. You know, and I've been sticking like bunny videos and stuff on there. I sell girly things, Daisy. I sell makeup and perfume and candles and clothes, handbags and shoes. Some of my art, I do have my CDs listed on my eBay store as well. So I sell a little bit of everything in there. I've worked on it pretty hardcore for about 10 years, and it does pretty well. Like it keeps me solvent. Like, you know, it's like that's where I say I get my real world money from. You know, so I'm really grateful to have the store because of that. It's Ariel Rose Music. I could send you a direct link if you would like. You can text me or whatever, and I'll send you a direct link. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I could do that, J25. That's a thought. But yeah, it's I'm glad that I have the store because it helps me pay the bills. You know, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. So that's what's happening with the dragon. It's been good. I'm really excited about it. It's giving me something really positive to focus on. And, you know, things have been tough. You know, things have been very emotional. A lot of challenges and stuff I'm not even going to get into here, but it's just, you know, I'm trying to focus on the things that make me happy and the things that feel positive and uplifting and are going to take my life in a good direction. It's always what it is. We always have a choice. So, yeah. Well, y'all, I'm going to take off here soon. If nobody wants to sign up for a personal read, I'll try to make myself available because I know what's going to happen is I'm going to have a bunch of messages later from people that are like, I missed your live and I wanted to read. It always happens. It always happens. If I'm here offering like the live personal reads and like nobody signs up, like later they're going to be like, oh, I missed it. And it's just the way it goes. But I'll try to get in here again this week and work on that. We will have our upcoming full moon is the 18th of March. That will be in the sign of Virgo. That's a definite house cleaner of a moon. That definitely brings a big boost of like detox, purification, cleaning out energy. So definitely be watching for that. I almost feel like it's gonna, all the stuff that's been happening, all the stuff that's been percolating, that's been needing to be cleared and cleansed, it's going out with that for real. I feel like that's gonna be a big culmination of that sort of effort. So, well, that's interesting, y'all, coming in. So many people here tonight with parents born on February 9th. That's really interesting. Was my dad's birthday. It's a good day. I don't know what it is about that 2-9. My dad was a life path 9, and I feel like he was here for very specific reasons, you know. Life path 9s always are. So, all right, guys. Well, have a great night. Good to see you. Yeah, oh, Daisy. Interesting. See, life path 9 people, they're here for real specific reasons. Even if they don't know what they are, you know, it's like I do. I feel like my dad had very, very specific, like, targets to hit, and he did it, you know? He did it, and he got out of here. So I really do feel like, you know, with the 9s, they have a real specific directive or mission. I feel like my dad was just to create a solid, happy, stable home. and change the dynamic, because both him and my mom grew up with a lot of instability, abusive, alcoholic parents, things like that. And it was like they totally changed that whole trajectory by not doing those things, by being better people than their parents. It was like they really, both of them. And I feel like my dad very strongly, it was like, he's like, my dad showed me everything that I didn't want to be. That's how he felt. My dad couldn't stand his father. He one of the things he always says, like, somebody should have shot my dad because he was crazy. I was like, darn. He never had a relationship with him, you know, because his dad abandoned their family and he never tried to help or reach out or anything. So my dad never had a relationship. I never met my my dad's dad, because he was just a kind of a terrible person. But my dad, wow, changed the whole thing around, you know. So it's just, I feel like that was his kind of his thing that he wanted to do. Or that life was kind of pushing him to. He was a very peaceful person. He really liked diplomacy. He really didn't like conflict. What a surprise. He didn't like it at all. He didn't like it when people, like if me or my sister were fussing at each other, you know, as his sisters do. He didn't like it. He couldn't stand it. He was like, y'all need to calm down. It's just like, he'd come and be like, girls, settle down. He's like, he did not like it when we were at each other. Oh, man. So, yeah. I think that's, you know, Neptune was his high degree planet in his chart, and Neptune is all about peace. It's all about compassion. Yeah, isn't that interesting, Estella? Yeah, yeah. Yep. Yep. Same kind of dynamic that my dad had. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I don't want that in my life. Yeah. Right? Yeah, it's funny, Daisy. It's like, and kids are gonna fight. Like, that's just, you know, they're gonna do it. They're gonna scrap. And, you know, overall, I feel like me and my sister got along pretty darn good as kids. We really, really did. And even people would even say, they'd be like, wow, you know, your girls are so good together. Because we, most of the time, were cool. We liked a lot of the same things and we could play together well. But, you know, you're gonna get on each other's nerves. You live in the same house. It happens. My mom would kind of just ignore it, you know. She's like, they're working their stuff out. But my dad was just like, it's like they need to chill out. They need to relax. He didn't like that kind of conflict. I think he had it's because he grew up with it, and it just, had a total aversion towards that, to not like that kind of drama. He just wanted to be peaceful snake, slithering through the grass. Yeah, it was his Chinese zodiac sign, was the snake. And, you know, snake energy is similar to Taurus in the Chinese zodiac cycle. So I could totally see that in him, too. Just that very, like, chilling out, grounded, solid, you know, stable, just kind of doing his thing. Didn't want to mess with anyone. Didn't want anybody to really mess with him, you know. He was very helpful, though. Very helpful person. He definitely had the Aquarius thing down with, like, helping other people. Very humanitarian. Keep telling him they had to get all his habits, because we have enough negativity in the world. You need to show more love to each other. Aww. Yeah. 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 Totally understandable, Daisy. But, you know, arguing is sometimes the way of working things out. I don't have a problem with an argument if it's constructive. That's how I feel. You know, it's like, I don't mind having an argument or a heated debate if it's gonna help us learn something about each other. Oh, Daisy. It's like, what does Mom know? It was that Mark Twain quote about Mark Twain was a Sagittarius, so he really didn't mince words. But remember when he said that when he was a kid, he thought his dad was an idiot, and when he got a little older and was a teenager, he was sure of it. He was sure how stupid his dad was. He said, but somewhere between there And getting older, he's like, I was surprised at how smart that old man had become. As you grow up, you realize how smart your parents really were. When you're a kid, you think they're idiots. Then you get older and you're like, oh, wow. I think that's just kind of a universal. That's kind of a universal thing. Kids and teenagers think, parents don't know nothing, but then they get older and they're like, oh, they might have a few good ideas, huh? Yep. It's always the way. All right, my darlings. Well, I hope you have a good night, good week ahead. Glad we got in here and chatted for a while. It was awesome. And hopefully I'll be back on soon. I'm going to be working on full moon readings. I didn't do them last month because I was just tired. Needed to relax, so I didn't do them. People were very kind. They didn't harass me over it. And but I definitely want to get back in and do those this month. All right, my darlings, have a good night. I'll be seeing you soon. And best wishes to y'all. Yeah, good to see you too, Daisy, and everyone here. Really appreciate y'all. We'll be back again soon. It's been too long. I've just been super busy and also super sleepy. Pisces season is for sleep and dreams and music. That's what it's for. All right, hon. Take care, y'all. Have a good night. I'll be seeing you soon.